I'm Mark Turner, Wildlife Extension Specialist at OSU, and today we're going to be talking about some of the snakes that we have here in Oklahoma. It's summertime here in Oklahoma, and right now is a time of year that a lot of folks start to be a little bit more concerned about snakes that might be active. Now, in Oklahoma, we actually have nearly 50 species of snakes, and there's snakes all throughout the state. Obviously, there's different species in different areas, and the vast majority of the snake species that we have in Oklahoma are actually non-venomous. We do have 7 species of venomous snakes in Oklahoma, and you might notice that I said venomous and not poisonous. Whenever we think about how we call things, certainly a lot of folks like to say poisonous snakes, but technically something is poisonous if you eat it or drink it and it causes you harm, whereas something is venomous if it bites you or stings you. So we actually have venomous snakes as opposed to poisonous snakes. But anyway, we have 7 species of venomous snakes here in Oklahoma, and they are found in various parts of the state, ranging from copperheads and cottonmouths, which are typically found more in the eastern half of the state. And then we also have 5 species of rattlesnakes in Oklahoma, ranging from the relatively small pygmy rattlesnake up to species like the western diamondback and prairie rattlesnake. And they're each found in different areas. But regardless of where you are in the state, there are some venomous snakes that are likely around you. And so it's important to know how to identify a venomous versus a non-venomous snake. Typically, I'm going to look at the head shape as well as the pupils of the eye. On average, the head shape of a venomous snake here in Oklahoma, of all the species that we have, is going to be more triangular in nature. Although I will say that some species of non-venomous snakes will kind of flatten their head out and make it look as if they have a triangular shaped head as well. But on average, venomous snakes have triangular heads, whereas non-venomous snakes have a more rounded shaped head. And then, obviously, if you're going to look at the eyes, you need to be relatively careful. But of the venomous snakes that we have in Oklahoma, they actually have a slit of the pupil as opposed to a more rounded pupil. And so it's going to look more like a cat pupil as opposed to a more rounded pupil like people have. Now, that's not the case for every venomous snake worldwide, but of the ones we have here in Oklahoma, they do have a pupil that looks more like a slit as opposed to more rounded. Those are just a couple of the basic characteristics that you can look at. Obviously, if you have a rattlesnake, it's going to have a rattle on its tail, although there are some snakes that will rattle their tails whenever they're threatened, even though they don't have rattles. So as a general rule of thumb, your best way to avoid being hurt by snakes is to simply look at them and enjoy them if you like looking at snakes. If you don't, simply walk away, don't get too close. Most folks that get harmed by venomous snakes are either walking through areas or feeling their hands in areas that they can't see very well. So certainly be cautious whenever you're walking around or working on your property this time of year. But the other main way that folks get hurt is actually by trying to either move or kill a venomous snake, and they end up actually getting bit and it hurts themselves. For more information on snakes in Oklahoma, check out some of the resources on the SUNUP website.